I mean, I think it's good, man. And I think we're so good at it because I think we are serious when it's time to be as a whole. Like we do take things seriously, but we're gonna get these jokes in too. And that's how we deal with a lot of things. And laughing is helpful, man. It's helpful. We deal with so much trauma. It's so many Sandra Bland's and Trayvon Martin's and Tamir Rice's.
What up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, joined with my co-hosts Buff and Razi. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
What's up, man? Hey, I just want to say how good Sonic the Hedgehog is. If y'all look, man, like I think Sonic broke the video game curse, the movie curse. It's there. It was actually really good. They did a good transition. And I just want to shout out Sony for listening to the fans, because if you saw the original Sonic when they first dropped it and how fan backlash was like, we ain't going to see this. This is horrible. Sonic looks horrible. And Sony actually pushed the release date back, I think 6 months. They redesigned Sonic and everybody loved the new redesign. And it got #1 in the box office last weekend, 61 million on opening weekend. And it's actually a good movie. Like my kids loved it. Me and the wife loved it. It was actually a good movie. So shout out to Sony. Shout out to Sonic.
Did you know Sonic dropped this weekend, Buff?
I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was, sorry if you guys can hear the news in the background. Mute that real quick. But I didn't know it was this weekend, but I knew it was coming out.
Yeah, I knew it was coming out, but I definitely didn't know it was coming out. I thought you was about to talk about that nutritious and delicious Publix chicken you were talking about earlier, and you caught me off guard talking about Sonic.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm like,
shout out to Publix as well, because the chicken is delicious. It's so good.
You know, as a matter of fact, I think when you move to a city, I think there should be a checklist of things that are or aren't there. And Publix should be on that list, because when I moved to Houston, I was unaware that we did not have Publix.
Oh,
and I was very upset. We didn't have Publix or Krispy Kreme. We got Krispy Kreme. I don't eat it that much, but Publix I would rock with.
Go ahead, Buff. I just knew that the Krispy Kreme hate was about to start.
I saw it, but he just, you know.
Guys, I mean, we don't want to lose fans, do we? You know what? Don't hold this against Three Brothers. Hold this against Byron. Krispy Kreme is trash. Look, I liked Krispy Kreme when I was younger. I also liked Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms. But then you grow up and your taste buds mature. Krispy Kreme is nothing more than a bowl of sugar on bread. Like, trust me when I tell you this. There are better donuts out there.
What do you eat? Shredded wheat?
You guys are missing out. Like,
what kind of cereal did you eat?
Even my
Raisin Bran
cream is too sweet.
Well, because she was raised bougie, bruh.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's what.
And listen, I like we just got a Krispy Kreme open up the street like 3 years ago. I was so excited when it was finally called. I was like, yes, hadn't had Krispy Kreme in so long. Man, we got them donuts. I thought I was going to a diabetic shock right then from one bite. Like, that's not a true donut.
Nothing like Krispy Kreme.
You're exaggerating.
Krispy Kreme glaze, when you bite into it and it just melts in your mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, you never had better.
Yes.
Yes. Listen, Razi. I once thought Red Lobster was the top of the line restaurant. I thought I was doing something when I had them garlic shrimp and a lobster tail on the side with rice pilaf and broccoli. And then I went to better restaurants, and I learned better.
Well, I'm not saying
no. Next Byron gonna be like, Hart's fried chicken ain't good, and I don't want no pop.
I love Hart's fried chicken. It's the only place you can go where the chicken is actually seasoned.
Krispy Kreme's donuts are, as far as the franchise chains, the best. I'll take them over. We have Shipley's here in Houston. We have Dunkin' Donuts and all that stuff. I prefer Krispy Kreme glazed, just straight pound for pound, Krispy Kreme cream glaze. There's boutique donut places. My daughter and I stop and get donuts and kolaches every Friday morning before daycare. So that's our thing. That's how we start our day on Friday. So they have great donuts. They have this right now. I think her favorite one is a red velvet cake donut and stuff like that. So yes, there are better donuts out there. But when you're just saying that, hey, we're mass producing donuts, Krispy Kreme wins that game. Okay. So I don't need a rebuttal. I just need you to move on and tell us what's on your mind outside of Krispy Kreme donuts and you about to lose your black card.
There's a reason why they have to have them packaged in grocery stores.
We're past that. We're past that. We're moving on. We're moving on. Can you edit this out?
Listen. If you want to eat trash, that's fine. Who am I? It's not my stomach, so enjoy. But listen, I'm actually going to pass my section to you, Ferg, because there's a story you told, man, several years ago, and I thought it was so funny. And the podcast I listened to, Dan Le Batard's show, which is based in Miami, they just had the Super Bowl there. So what they were doing is every guest they had come on the show, they would get them to try some Cuban coffee. Because not everybody knows Cuban coffee got that punch. So I need you to tell the people the story on the first time you drank Cuban coffee and how you thought it was like regular coffee.
So actually, once again, of course, Razi was there with me.
Yep.
So this was 2002, Razi? Summer 2002, right before we left Afghanistan. We're working at Ryder Trauma Center in Miami.
Yep.
And so we had just worked a double shift. This is 4th of July, a Friday night, 4th of July, weekend, 4th of July. So we've been up on double shift, 12-hour shift, on to our second 12-hour shift. And there was a Dunkin' Donuts right next to the thing. They're like, go get you some coffee. We're like, okay, go get some coffee. They're like, you should try this Cuban coffee. So they give us a little small cup of Cuban coffee. But they give us like 5 or 6 cups.
Like little shot glasses.
Like, yeah. Shot glasses. And I'm like, I wonder what these are for. Toss. Because then we ordered 2.
Yeah.
One a piece.
Oh, these are small. We need to get another one.
So he ordered one. I ordered one. We tossed the rest of the cups thinking man, when I say we wanted to run beside ambulances and do all this stuff, man, that junk hit us and we couldn't. Then we tried to.
We didn't sleep for 3 days. I think we stayed up for like 3 days.
We volunteered for another shift.
Yeah, we did. We're like, we good. Here. We'll just stay on.
We're here. It makes no sense for somebody else to have to wake up and do this when we can't go to sleep.
Yeah, I was like Tyrone Biggums the day.
Yeah, bro. I'm eyes pop. Because how you're, and we were so wired, but we weren't coherent. Like we were just there. Like we looked like we were on that thing, but we just eyes popped. Just ripping and running. Man, I don't think I've had Cuban coffee since. Man, that joke was crazy, dog. I forgot all about that. But hey, just for people that don't understand the message and got lost in the laughing, Cuban coffee is for the group. When they give you multiple cups, that doesn't mean to throw them away. It means if it's for 5 cups, this is enough for 5 people.
Right.
We didn't get that message. I'm talking about we stayed up for at least 2 days. And it was that, when you're trying to go to sleep and you just can't go to sleep, you just laying there tired. Bro, we did that for a minute. Bro, I just want to go to sleep, dog. I just want to go to sleep. Man, stop talking. I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I think you fell asleep first, and I was mad at him for being able to go to sleep. Because we had been up for 2 days. Man. But man, no, I forgot about that.
That's my thing. I just had to get that story out there, man, for the people. Man.
All right. Did you guys watch the NBA All-Star game?
I did not, but I heard the fourth quarter was like that. I missed a good ending.
Yeah, man. They made some changes the last few years. They, recently it's not the East versus the West. They get a captain from each team. I mean, from each area. And they get to pick teams like we did in middle school and high school. And they literally picking them on air now. So it's like, all right, I take Buff. And so, you get to see who gets picked last and everything. So it's that whole fun part.
Mm.
But this year, what they did is I like the fact that they played by quarter. So it was overall score, but whoever won that quarter, they had $100,000 donated to their charity. So if Team LeBron won the first quarter, big. Team Giannis won the second quarter, and then they tied the third quarter. But even with them tying the third quarter, Team LeBron probably went into the fourth quarter down by maybe 10, 15 points. And they just came back and balled out. And the thing about it is the fourth quarter is in time. They went to the first 157 wins, and then they won the rest of the money. So it was just like first 150. So they were at 150s for a minute. That's when defense, people really start playing defense and stuff. But it was a good game. Like you saw people locking down each other and really playing and running plays. So it was good. And just to see Team LeBron and Anthony Davis actually scored the winning bucket at the free throw line. And it was the perfect storm, perfect situation because he's from Chicago. So he won the game, and the charity they got the money was a charity based out of some kids based out of Chicago. But during every quarter, like you heard the kids cheering when their team went up because they knew they were about to get $100,000. So even though they might be down 47-35 overall, it's Team LeBron has 12, Team Giannis has 12 in the second quarter, and so we're just trying to win this quarter. Mm-hmm. So it was a good game, man. They really played up. So
also, I saw Jennifer Hudson song during a tribute for Kobe Bryant that we posted on our page, Three Brothers No Sense. So check that out if you haven't.
Okay, yeah.
So,
but that was cool, man.
Before we go into our commercials, did y'all see Juicy Smouye? They came back and charged him, or Justice Smollett. We can actually say his name now since he's been formally charged.
Who?
So yeah, they formally charged him with whatever it is, false report and all that stuff.
Listen, I think what he did was very idiotic or whatever, because I do believe he lied. But of all the problems Chicago has, this what they're gonna focus on? Like that's a joke to me, man.
Did they charge him like All-Star Game weekend?
Yeah,
When did they charge him? When did this happen?
Last week?
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I thought it was like a week or so ago, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Can they do the same thing with Trump?
They could, but they know the outcome again, so it kind of makes no sense to, because he's gotten worse.
That dude. Yep. My anti-hero.
Yeah.
That dude's a beast.
Got balls. Got big cojones.
That he does. Well, you know what time it is, fellas. Let's pay these bills.
¿Dónde están los $5 millones que me robaste?
Gloria tendrá que encontrar el dinero. Su vida y la de su hijo dependen de ello.
Hay que acorralar a la viuda.
¡Tengo mucho miedo, mamá!
El peor de los caminos será el único posible.
A mí no me importa ir a la cárcel con tal de salvar a mi hijo.
En la nueva superserie de Telemundo.
Esta mujer es clave. Esa es la cacería.
La Jefa. Lunes a viernes a las 10:09 Centro por Telemundo.
All right, we're back. Three Brothers No Sense. It is a Wednesday, fellas. We're not recording on a Sunday, so I guess we can let it rip since Razi has 3 to 4 days.
Like, it should be some good editing. You know what I mean? some sound effects, some applause.
You know what? I don't know if we've covered this before. I don't know if we covered it on the podcast. I'm pretty sure we had some conversations around it on the Facebook group. But, it is Black History Month, and I'm for everything black, so I'm going to keep my subject matter black. And you guys probably know where I'm going with this. Recently, we've seen all this backlash against D-Wade and how he's raising his daughter.
Took my question. Proceed, brother. Go ahead.
D-Wade and how he's raising his daughter. We've had a comment I posted the other day about, like almost like deadbeat dads. And would you would you, was your father the type person that you would seek for as a spouse? We've even had the dude that was the Billy Porter that dressed up and wore a dress on Sesame Street. It's been just a lot of things going on in our community, in the conversation around the attack on Black masculinity it just keeps going on and going on. So I got to bring it to my brothers. I got to pick your brains about it. I want to see what you guys think. Is there an attack on Black masculinity? And if it's so, what is that attack? What does that mean to you?
Yes, there is an attack on Black masculinity, but it's not necessarily coming from the gay community. So both can be true. I do think there's an attack. There will always be an attack on Black masculinity. We see it all the time when cops are much more aggressive with us than they are with our white counterparts. We see it how, we joked with Brandon last week about code switching. In his explanation, he said he code switches because he has to make sure he's not intimidating, that he makes them feel comfortable and things like that. So for a lot of Black people, no matter how much we say, we keep it real or whatever, I think there is in the back of our mind, hey, I have to make sure that I'm as safe as possible and not threatening. If you're on an elevator with a white woman, I don't know if you guys do it. I stand as far in the four corners as I possibly can. I don't want any misunderstandings. We see it when they clutch their purses or lock their doors. So there's always going to be an attack on Black masculinity. Where I disagree with is when they say, well, look at D. Wade's son, or look at this, or look at that. Look at how they're pushing the gay agenda. They want us all to be gay. That's not true. Like, people that are gay feel like they are born gay, and there is no agenda. They just want to be treated the same as everybody else, and they're not being treated the same. We got people attacking a kid right now, Ferg, with Dwayne Wade's son, who wants to be referred to as Zaya now. Like, it's open season on a child. Since when, like we talked about, since when was it okay to call Black women bitches and hoes with Gayle King? Apparently now, if a young Black boy comes out as gay or wants to be transgender, it's okay to attack a child now. So,
but not only that though. Think about how the narrative is Black fathers aren't there. They're not supportive. We're not nurturing.
Yeah.
And this guy, if it was anything outside of his daughter, because now she identifies as a girl, being transgendered and or gay, he would be Father of the Year on so many Black posters. If it was anything beyond those two talking points. So we're attacking Zaya, and now we're attacking D. Wade.
Yep.
Because it was on I think what made me think about this was there was a post on Who You Got, and it was like, who would you rather have? What would you rather have? Your 15-year-old daughter come home pregnant, or your 15-year-old son come and tell you he's gay? And when I say it was 50-50, or not more, towards B, like people more upset, I'm like, come on, man. But my bad. That just keep going, bro.
Sorry about that. I thought I had muted the mic. But I'll just wrap it up with they're not being treated fairly. Like, even when someone is trying to make an innocent point, the first thing they'll say is, well, look at it like this. I think Dwayne Wade's son is too young to be determining that he wants to be a female. Just like you wouldn't want your son coming to you saying that, hey, I want to go rob a bank because that's what I feel like doing. Why are you comparing gayness to a crime? Like, when you jump in, people still treat gay like it's something wrong, like Dwayne Wade failed. You know what I'm saying? And what we got to realize is people feel like they are born that way. And I'll probably have more to add, but I'll let Razi jump in.
So I do think there's an attack on not Black masculinity, but masculinity. But I really think it's an attack on hypermasculinity. I think society is redefining what masculinity means, and the old guard, the hyper masculine men don't like that. That's what I really feel. Like Buff said, we have to, as black men, have to walk around and try to not be threatening and everything like that. Everybody's going at D-Wade because he's being nurturing, because he's supporting his daughter, those types of things. And I say daughter because the thing about it is, if that is the gender that they are presenting as, then we need to respect that. Like that genetically it's a boy. Yes. She was born a boy, but how she presents, how she wants the world to see her is truly, I feel like, the gender that we should call them. But the idea that you have to think through, what is it to be a man? So my thing is, if D-Wade as a father is supporting his child through whatever they choose, I think that is masculine. I think, Zaya coming out and saying, I am a girl, this is what I feel in my heart. You got to think the balls it takes to come out and say that and be ready for the vitriol that comes behind that. A child doesn't come out lightly. You know what I mean? So this idea that, they are less than, or they're not, they don't understand what it means to come out, I think it's false. There's no way that child at this age is not thinking about that. And especially now with social media and everybody coming after them after it, for them to still stand by it and say, I want to walk my truth, I want to live my truth, and this is my truth. I mean, that to me is like, that, like I said, that takes balls to do that. So this idea of you have to be this Neanderthal caveman, hitting women upside the head and dragging them back to your house type thing is outdated. I really feel like it is. And so hypermasculinity is definitely under attack. But I think we talked about it in a past episode. I'm okay with that. I think we need to evolve as a people and figure out what it means to be a human being, male or female. The genetic side, the reproductive side of it is one thing, but I think when we really look at it, masculinity is just evolving.
Yeah, man, I agree with both of you guys. I think the attack really is it's a trick. I think they're really fooling us to think that their plan is, hey, be concerned about this gayness. And so we have all this energy focused on the wrong thing. Like, homosexuality is probably the least of our worries in the black community when it comes to what's going on with our men. The real attack, we're focused on the left hand when the right hand is really what's going on. The real attack is our black men are dying. As far as education system, we're one of the slowest growing groups. When it comes to the pay rates, all this stuff, how we're falling behind on so many other things, we're not worried about that because Tyrone is straight. He got, he works with his hands. He's doing all these things that we consider, as you said, Razi, masculine or hypermasculine, either one. And we're fine with that. We are completely okay with that. And we even romanticize about, man, when men can really be men. When our fathers and grandfathers were out there womanizing, when they were out there able to beat their wives into submission, when black men weren't being taught to be nurturers. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and it's very unique because she's in almost a reverse role. So her husband is a stay-at-home husband. She's in medical sales, so she makes a really good living. And when they got pregnant, it was to the point where she just said, hey, you stay home with the kids until the kids get a certain age. And they roll by that. She's like one of my closest friends. And she's always, I'm going to call it like it is. She's always had a healthy sexual appetite. So she's probably just as sexual as a guy when it comes to that. And so she sees things that from a guy's perspective. And we were talking about, how men are perceived or how things were overlooked. Think about growing up. It's crazy that, especially in the Black community, we're so homophobic that if a boy was playing with a doll, the house, but stop playing with that doll. Go do this. Like, you're trying to make him tough. He can't do these things. From the day you were born as Black men, for the most part, we were not taught how to nurture at all. The first time I was expected to be a nurturer is when I became a father. I became a father at 34, excuse me. So for 34 years, nobody pushed me to be a nurturer. And then all of a sudden you expect me to become a nurturer. You expect that think about these deadbeat dads that we talk about. A lot of them are just products of, hey, for 25, 30 years, nothing has taught me to think any different. So when you're saying what's disrupting the Black household, you have this Black man who might not be a bad person, but for 25, 30 years or however old he's never been taught to be a nurturer. He's never seen a lot of Black men as nurturers. He's seen us as providers. That's what we're taught to do, is be a provider. If you can provide for your family, you've done your duty as a man.
Mm-hmm.
That's attack. Like, we're not taught to be there. We're not taught to be present. We're not taught to do other things outside of be a provider, be tough, be the security for your family.
Provider and protector. Those are our roles.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing about it is, now that the world's asking more of us, our women are asking more of us, we are expecting more. Like you said, that D-Wade's daughter came out and said that. Black men can't come out and say they're sad. We can't come out and say we're depressed. We can't even come out and say we're suffering from anxiety. If we're having suicidal thoughts, we can't say any of that because we're taught to be so tough. So for this young kid to have the as you said, the balls to come out and say, hey, I'm different. I don't fall by these rules. We've been brainwashed. The attack on Black masculinity is a brainwash to think that we should be something different. And for the most part, that something different has led to us being harmful to our community. I'm not saying that the fault of the Black community falls on the Black men. We're just part of it. We're part of the cycle. We're people hurting people. And so we're not taught to be this. We're so worried about our sons being gay or our sons being manly men or doing like, we never talk about people just being good people. Like, are you more worried about, you have a son and a daughter. You want to raise good people. It's not about, okay, my daughter likes men and she's going to get married and do this and this. Great, I'm successful. It's, my daughter is a great person. She's a pillar of society. She loves her family. She does these things. Those are things we should want. Same, and why is that any different for your son?
Yeah, I was having a conversation with some of my friends, and we were talking about, it was some of my fraternity brothers, Mega Top 5, when our cardinal principles is manhood. And we were talking about manhood, and I was like, what is your definition of manhood? Because my thing is, say you have a gay male that's in a relationship, they adopt a kid, they are a loving spouse, great role models for the kid, holding everything down, nurturing, doing all that as, a parent, father, spouse, whatever. And then you got a deadbeat Black male or a male, deadbeat male that's out womanizing 4 or 5 baby mamas, not in any of the children's lives or anything like that. Which one is a real man? That's a hard discussion to have.
But that's also part of it because, and I think I've said this before, we never challenge womanhood. Another it's what we think our men should be is false. It's misleading. It's the trick. It's a trap. It's the fact that how many women said we're so worried about being a real nigga or a real man. I need a real man. Oh, you ain't like men say it, women say it. And maybe it's just because of the circle I roll in, and I don't have a lot of friends outside of my race like that, and I'm not privy to their conversations, but I don't hear, and I'm not going to put it on the women, I don't hear any of them saying having those same conversations. Why are we challenging what it is to be a man? You are a man. If you're born a certain way, you're a man. Now, the qualities of that man is what we should be addressing.
So
we shouldn't.
I was going to say, so on the front end, let me say, I think Dwayne Wade in particular handled this situation perfectly because, for one thing, that's his household, that's his son. I probably would have did things a little different. And just so I don't try to come off as someone that's like perfect on this subject, I personally do think 12 is a little too young to make that decision. And if it were my son, I probably would have handled it slightly different. But I'm not going to criticize how Wade handled it because, again, that's his son, that's his household. And I also want to say that I'm still evolving because, I hear you guys freely refer to him as her and his her now. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not comfortable with calling a 12-year-old boy a girl just because he says that's what he wants to be and everything that comes with it. But I did get checked by and I already spoke to her and I told her I would bring this up, so it's okay. But I have a gay coworker, and it was her and another guy who was also gay, and we were talking, and some kind of way I was talking, and I was like, yeah, you guys, your lifestyle, and they objected to that. They was like, I get so tired of people, and I'm not arguing at you, but just in general, it's not a lifestyle. And we went back and forth. I was like, how is it not a lifestyle? I said, if I decide that I no longer want to eat beef and pork and I want to change, I said, we call it a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle change. And she said, that's my point. You're making that choice. We didn't choose to be gay. This is how we were born. So when you call it a lifestyle, you're telling us that we made a choice to be gay. She was like, you think I made a choice to put up with all the ridicule I had to deal with from my family and my so-called friends when I came out? Nobody wants to go through that. You don't choose that, but you go through life and you learn that that's what you are. And, nobody ever wants to be wrong. And I wanted to debate some more. I was like, you know what? She's right. I got to see it from her point of view.
What's crazy?
You got to be able to evolve.
And what made me look at that also is we're so quick to want to define people.
Yeah.
Like if you became a vegan, even if that's a lifestyle choice, you're not defined by being a vegan. Oh, that's Byron. He's a vegan. Sexuality doesn't define you. Like sexuality only defines you when you step outside of what the quote unquote norm is. We don't like, oh yeah, that's Byron, that's my nigga. He like women. But if that was my homie, oh, that's Razi, he gay. Like that's how I'm gonna introduce you. Oh,
why you want to use that line?
Like,
I remember flex.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is my homeboy Byron. He like women. This is my homeboy Razi. He like niggas. We about to all go out. Like we don't do that. Oh, Nakers, my bad.
Oh, Razi got me tripping off that phone flex joint.
Did you see that? We'll post a link for everybody who's wondering about it, but I think it was like a gay rapper. I don't even know the guy's name. And he was like, we looking for booty holes, like me and Flex hanging out looking for booty holes, and then Flex stopped him. Flex was like, whoa, why you had to throw me in that line?
That was hilarious, yo.
Hey, man.
But that goes back to the conversation though. Like you almost are scared to be associated with gayness because like you're not secure enough in your manhood.
I asked my homeboy would he let a gay guy buy him a drink at the bar. He got upset. Hell no. I said, even if he doesn't even want anything, he just want to be nice, and he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need nobody to buy me a drink.
Yeah. So
Hilarious,
it's the
man.
same thing. It might be some underlying thing there. But if it's not like my homie, like I've got gay friends, and so if they buying around, they buying around. No big deal there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to get, and we're all adapting to it. It's a change, definitely a change in the culture. And I always look at what harm, because I asked this question to somebody else recently. They were talking about, well, the gay agenda, I don't need my son seeing this and this. I'm like, what do you want the agenda to be? Like, what is the right agenda? You know, is it heterosexual male working with his hands, doing this, and this? Or is it just like, hey, this person is happy with who they are, they're a good person, and they're doing their thing?
Yeah. Because I tell so many people, like, seeing that's not going to make your child gay.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. But what seeing that might happen is, if your child was gay, they might be more comfortable coming to tell you that they are gay.
Yeah, and I agree. So the thing about it is, if you think that
Buff, hold on, Buff over there laughing, man. I want to hear what he got to say.
I was gonna say, if you think it makes your child gay, then they was on the fence anyway.
You kind of knew.
But maybe they didn't know how to express it. Maybe seeing Billy Porter on Sesame Street and realizing it's okay to be you. I'm different. I've always thought I was different. You know, it's cool. We challenge our kids to break from the norm on so many different things. Kids growing up in the hood that might not have a lot of good things going on, we tell them, hey, it's okay not to be a thug. It's okay not to be this person. You know, but when it comes to homosexuality, black masculinity, we're under attack, dog. Man, they don't want us to have more. They trying to make everybody gay so we can't have no more kids. Man, nigga down the street about to have about 6. He got 6 baby mamas anyway. That ain't about to change nothing. Nothing. So I don't know, man. It's
so the hyper males are gonna hate this segment right here, huh?
No, but I'm saying it's okay to be, and that's, you know what? That's what maybe maybe that's what we don't talk about. It's still okay to be a quote unquote manly man. We're not telling you have to do all this stuff. We're just saying you don't have to think it's wrong for other people to live a different life.
Right.
Like you can be a lumberjack. You can do what you want to do and still be you, but it doesn't change the fact that if you have a son who thinks differently or who is attracted to other men, that you failed as a father. That's the worst thing in the world. Hell, that is even a thing to be. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's the second worst thing in the world. No, it's not a thing. It's just that's part of their personality. That's part of who they are. Just like you chose to chop down trees. It's just something that's a part of their personality. So to my manly men, to hyper masculine men, keep doing you. Just as a man, as a leader of the world, as a black man, expand your mind, because you don't fall for the okie doke. The trick is not the gay agenda. They're tricking us to not be the supporters and the builders of our community. And we got to find out better ways to do that. So keep doing what you're doing, but let's focus on the bigger picture.
Or in other words, we ain't woke enough. So listen, so last week I didn't lighten it up. I'm going to try to lighten it up this week. So as you said, Ferg, it's Black History Month. We're going to keep it black. And Three Brothers has, we've done our part in trying to highlight, I would say, little known black historical figures beyond the Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks type figures. But I've noticed something that's trending. I think it started last year, but I've been seeing it a lot this year, where people are just taking random pictures of old black people from back in the day and saying, like, you know, he was the first man to go to the cookout without asking who all gonna be there, you know. So my question to you guys is, and that's kind of on the lighter side, but there are some more serious issues that we do that with also. Do you guys have a problem at all with how our culture finds humor in some of the more serious topics going on? Like almost anything can be a meme. Like we getting ready to have Kobe Bryant's funeral on February 24th. And I guarantee you, if somebody makes like a funny face or something, it's going to be a meme. Look at Aretha Franklin's funeral. Mm-hmm. They had the lady that was passed out asleep or whatever. Like, do you guys take issue? Like, do we need to be more serious, or do you think it's therapeutic for us to find humor and serious issues that go on in this world?
You want to first?
Yeah, man. Laugh that off. You know, you gotta find humor. You gotta laugh sometime to keep from crying. You know, if anybody deserves a good laugh, Naker, it is us. It is us. We need to laugh as much as possible. You know what? As a matter of fact, we should make more memes. We got too many pictures. We got too many pictures from 1867. The whole family stone face. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, when did we learn not to smile in pictures like that? Maybe that should be a meme. The first black person that smiled in the picture. You know, like it's
they have somebody on the they have somebody on the auction block. They be like the first one to take a prison pose. Like,
But you know, because Allison put this all the day. Like we don't forget though. Like we don't forget. It's not laughing at this means we forgot or disrespect, but we just need to laugh sometimes. We find humor in it. Now the thing is, we might not forget, but we got to make sure that others and the generations after us do know, because you can't forget what you don't know. And I think it's a time and place for everything. Like the Aretha Franklin thing, you don't post it on Aretha Franklin's page. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. If somebody's having a serious conversation about Kobe, you don't throw in a crazy Kobe meme at the time. It's a time and place for everything. But if we're joking and stuff like that, you know, then fine. Or if you start it, you know, in a timely manner, having a Kobe Bryant meme the day after his death is insensitive. Now, you know, it still might be a little touchy for some people, but, you know, you have a little more, it's a little lighter now. It's not, people aren't breaking down crying every time you say his name or you think about him and his daughter. But man, joke that up. Have some fun. Lighten up.
I look at it as a second line. And so for anybody who doesn't know what a second line is, it is, so in New Orleans, even Mobile, those types of areas down, in Creole type religions or societies. So when you go to a funeral, you do the slow march with the sad music to the burial site. But then once you bury the person, they have what they call a second line, where you come back, you play jazz music, Zydeco, people dance, you know, it's a celebration of the person. And so I think I look at it like that. It's one of those things that we're going to take all that hurt, all that pain, and we're going to make jokes about it because we got through it. You know what I mean? We can say this is, you know, Joseph Jackson, the first one to knock a KKK member out. You know what I mean? And we can laugh about that because we know we want to do it. And to see that and have a picture of that, it adds a little pride to it. You know what I mean? That we made it through. We got through it. And so here's the things that either we wanted to have done or that we are actually proud of. I saw a meme. It was like a black guy drinking from the whites only water fountain. It was like, you know, this is the first person to drink from a whites only water fountain. Like those types of things, even if that's not the actual person, it's like that's something cool to see. It's like, I want to be able to see that and I want to be able to project onto that. So I'm good with it. I mean, I think I had this conversation, or we had this conversation when we were talking about team dark skin versus team light skin. I think there's a time and place to have those joking moments where we can Jones off on each other, Jones on our history and everything. But I do agree, Ferg, that we've got to figure out a way to, especially with the younger generation, that they see the meme and they don't think that's all it is, because they need to know the history behind that and why it's so important that we look at that and we prop that picture up.
So some of the more recent and prominent ones were, so I forgot who we thought we were about to go to war with. I think it was maybe Iran or somebody like that.
Oh,
and
man.
So, and we know black people was making jokes like, hey, Iran, we ain't vote for this.
Yeah.
And like people were getting upset. Like I remember one girl, she made a post, my little niece is gonna have to go over there and fight. Y'all joking about it, and y'all never take anything serious. And people were like coming back at her like, child, black soldiers was doing this in World War II. The ones that served, they was writing on the bombs, dear Hitler, we about to bust your the bombs that they about to drop, like things like that. Even with something as serious as what R. Kelly was accused of. You saw what Dave Chappelle did with that. Yeah. That's a classic skit. I laugh at it every time.
Yeah, that is.
Or like the old pictures of Martin Luther King. I think it's one where it looks like he almost took a selfie. He's so close to the camera. And it's a white police officer behind him. And the caption is like, I here dealing with these
Or the one from Coming to America.
You know what I'm saying?
Bumping into Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's good, man. And I think we're so good at it because I think we are serious when it's time to be as a whole. Like, we do take things seriously, but we're going to get these jokes in too. And that's how we deal with a lot of things. And laughing is helpful, man. It's helpful. We deal with so much trauma. It's so many Sandra Bland's and Trayvon Martin's and Tamir Rice's, and we can go on and on. It's so we have to deal with that. We got a little situation going on now in Mobile. It didn't turn deadly, but a gentleman got roughed up, and the officer, in my opinion, was a little too rough, very unprofessional.
It was in handcuffs, choke him out, put him in a police car.
Twice.
Call it what it is.
Told him twice. And so that video is disturbing. So we definitely know when to be serious, but hey, we're gonna laugh from time to time, man. And that's what makes our culture so fun, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. I mean, the thing about it is, man, we laugh through so much of our pain. Like we will have our lights out, you know, and the heat off, and we sitting there joking with each other about how the candles aren't right. Or, you know, that type of thing. Like, it's
funny.
Not while you're going through it.
Not while you're going through it.
But somebody said.
Who was that? Cat Williams? He was like, F those lights. You know, F that light bill.
You need to smoke some. Okay.
Yeah.
Some goddamn lights.
Somebody said black people make fun of people being prepared. This nigga got an umbrella. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
watching the Weather Channel.
Them motherfuckers always on time, boy. That's how we roll, man. That's how we roll.
Speaking correctly, once you guys, I'm giving you a little hint. Jared's about to drop soon, and that's one of the things. Jared gets ridiculed for speaking the Queen's English.
Mm-hmm. Speaking like a white person, as you know, we all are used to hearing.
Jared has the most difficult story arc too, by the way. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was a good one, man. Shout out to Sherman Cooley for another one.
So if we on this black thing, and you transition to the comedy of it all, I will round us out with probably a short answer, but I want to know what is your top 2, and you can only pick 2 black comedies.
Okay, yeah, this is a short answer. Friday and Harlem Nights. I can't really watch Friday anymore. Like, how you watch something so much to where
you know every word.
Yeah, like I need another 10 years before I can really enjoy that one. But Friday and Harlem Nights are 2 of the funniest movies I've seen.
Ferg, what about you?
I gotta go with Harlem Nights, and it might be Coming to America too. That's just such a classic, man.
Eddie has some good ones, man.
It's just
like him and Martin in what was it? Life.
Yeah, but your royal penis is clean. No, she's your queen to be. No, like that joke was.
I remember watching Coming to America, and I don't know if y'all ever noticed, but when you come into the Black Awareness rally, when they cut to it, there is like this note that's super off key, and it be like, bum, bum. And me and my homeboy Kerry used to literally rewind that note and just laugh every time it hit. Like, that's how funny Coming to America is. Like, every moment is just hilarious, bro.
But you know what? When I got older and I watched it again, I'm like, oh, shit, that's Eddie Murphy. Yeah. Like, nigga, that's Arsenio Hall too. Like, I didn't realize how many characters they played. I'm sitting there like, they had 5 people in the whole movie, dog.
The funniest parts are the barbershop scene and that the charity event you're talking about. There's a very subtle, very small, funny part when they're passing the collection train.
Oh, the chicken bone.
Yeah. He said, don't laces. I thought it was
I think about juices and berries.
And then he said, you tall black mother.
McDowell's.
But Harlem Nights, man.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's his funniest movie, man. Even over Coming to America.
So you wants to shoot motherfuckers in the pinky toe. That Vera and
character dog.
That orange juice scene.
I literally quote that movie every day with my coworkers. I don't know if I said this on the show before, but every day there's a situation where we quote a line from that movie just out the blue, and the other person knows you're talking about. Are you in charge of the girls? I am in charge of the girls. Well, let's go and put the shit out there and open, okay? Every night the girls come up short. Even when the place is packed, the girls come up short. So either you or them got a problem with the arithmetic. Man, that joke is hilarious. What's your
I'm an honest hoe, and my hoes are honest.
All my hoes is honest.
Right.
So, for me, it definitely has to be Coming to America because, like I said, every single scene has some comedy in it. And so you can find something there at any point.
I'm trying to fall down the stairs. My bad.
I mean, I can't think of in my former life I was judge on art. My name is Peaches. I'm the best. All the like, I'm just like, dog, the whole
Soul Glow commercials.
Dude, it's the whole movie is
the whole
funny.
Movie. Yes.
I can't imagine think about being our age, seeing that movie for the first time. So I always think about stuff like this. Certain moments, it's almost to your question, some certain moments of Black history where there's stuff that was so good. Imagine being there the first time that movie was dropped. Like, we saw it as kids and we didn't fully understand it. But think about being in your 20s or 30s the first time that movie drops. And you're like, crazy. The first time Prince played Purple Rain, like, there's moments in history where you're the first person to see or experience something that's legendary. And that movie, to me, is one of them. It was just so, and then the fact that, and the thing I like about Coming to America and Harlem Nights is they both portray Black elite. Now, one is a crime syndicate.
The Black people win on Harlem Nights. I like that.
Yeah.
What's the second one, Razi? Yeah.
For me, I think it's got to be Life, though. I was surprised. Life, man, is another one that, I mean, it's, star-studded cast. You got Bernie Mac in there. You know what I mean? Like
Jang Lang.
You got Rick James in there.
Yeah, like everybody in the eyes of Pappy. Like, I mean, it's one of those things. How much is it gonna take me to make one of them whites only pies a black pie? It's a nigger pie.
It was a nigger pie.
Yeah. So, like, man, that movie to me, I think, was funnier than Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights had like instances that it was really, really good. But Life, I think the storyline was a little bit better, and the jokes hit harder for me than Harlem Nights. So that's the only thing, man. But
in America too, though.
It's coming. They just finished up.
Oh, I feel like it's been coming out forever. Maybe I'm nervous about that.
Well, at first when they were saying that it wasn't true, like people been saying it like 10 and 5 years ago, but It's like they filmed it at Rick Ross's mansion in Atlanta and stuff like that.
So, well, Razi, I'm gonna piggyback off your question. They have Coming to America 2 coming out. What black movie would you love to see a sequel to? It doesn't even have to be comedy.
I'm so scared of sequels, though, man.
I'm scared of Coming to America, though.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to my cousin, Harold Rico Knight. He actually made the fan poster that got like all the buzz and the studios caught on. And that is the reason why they greenlit it, because of the buzz from that fan poster. So shout out to my cousin, huge fan of his. Anybody out there who needs some graphic art design, that type of stuff, holla at him. Anyway, back to your question, Ferg. Y'all might cuss me out, but I want to see a Soul Plane 2.
Hey, cut his mic, yo.
No, man, no. I think about it. I would never want to go from one of the best to try to make a sequel to it, because, you know, it's one of those things that you can't really make them better. So to actually be able to come back off and make a Soul Plane 2 and fix all the problems with it, give them a bigger budget, better writers. But it was a good cast. It was an okay plot line there. Kevin Hart's a much better actor now than he was before. I really think, and his comedy has actually gotten better as well. So I feel like he could actually carry Soul Plane 2 and make it a really, really funny movie. You look at some of the new ones, Night School, some of his newer comedies that he's made, that he's executive produced. I mean, they are funny. So throw him in there, throw Tiffany Haddish, his whole team in there, actually doing things. I really think it'll be funny, man.
So, first off, we're going to argue about your life being funnier than Harlem Nights one day. We're going to argue about that. But, man, most of the black movies that I want to see a sequel to, they either have done or they can't do. Like Training Day, they can't redo that. Life, they were too old at the end. Like, I would have loved to see a Life sequel, because when they get old in the movie, man, that movie takes off to me when they get old. Mm-hmm. So,
they could make a sequel and like basically fill in the gap between them escaping and them actually like dying or being at the baseball. Doesn't it end at baseball?
Yeah,
the baseball part.
Yeah, but so I guess with the choices that I have, I would go a movie we talked about before. I would go Menace to Society, and I think Ferg and I talked about how Menace to Society told the story of the cycle of how young Kane saw his dad, and he grew up and did the same thing, and then Ronnie's son was looking at Kane and was headed that way, but she kind of, I guess, stopped him from doing it. So I would like to see how either he turned out or, you know, how he turned out and how much influence did Kane's influence stay with him, or was she able to steer him away from it? Because they were supposed to be moving to Atlanta, so you can do that whole different scene and just see what they can come up with on that. I don't really have a good storyline, a plot line for it, but that's the only thing I can think of as far as where the main characters didn't die off or something like that.
Man, I mean...
Oh, and one more thing. And the other ones, we already know they're going to do. Like, we know they're doing another Black Panther.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah.
We know they're doing another Coming to America, so that's what I come up with. What you got, Ferg?
That might be it. Like, I was thinking, I really didn't have an answer, but Menace to Society 2, still a menace?
Still a menace. With the question mark. Still a minute?
Yeah, still a minute. Like, yeah. I mean, I want to see that.
Yeah.
So
they'd probably make it way too PC and try to make it where it's a redemption story and not another like gangster movie. Like I'd want to see, you know, Ronnie actually grow up and be a thug. That's just me though.
Well, Ronnie was the girl. What was the boy name?
Oh, the little boy. Dang.
What was his name? Well, anyway, the little boy.
Yeah.
That was on the big wheel when Kane got shot at.
Yeah, him. So, because I mean, I look at, I don't know if, like, I don't watch Power, but, you know, the series finale or whatever, and they talking about all the spinoffs. the only spinoff that I think really should probably get greenlit is the kid who's like becoming this drug lord or like powerful figure. I want to see him get more powerful. You know what I mean? And so that might be cool. Like, I want to see the continuation, the next generation, and how they handle, like you talked about, that cycle, right? Is do they go down the same path, or do they and become better? It's the whole Godfather effect, right? Like, we love the dad, but it's all about the son's arc. You know, that's what we want to see. You know, when Michael takes over the family and starts moving it along, that I want to see what happens after Michael passes and what happens. And I guess that's kind of what 3 is, like the nephew takes over. So in Godfather, you get that with the 3 movies. So I think that would be something good to see.
Michael had one of the coldest lines in cinema history. This dude said, "Kate, you know me. You know me. You know I would never let you take my son." That shit was cold, man.
Well, fellas, it's about that time. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Who got us first? Who's taking us out?
Big shout out to Brandon Davis for coming on here last week, man. We appreciate it. You gracing us with your knowledge and expertise there, brother. So thank you for that. Thank you guys for ordering the merchandise too, man. You guys have been posting and letting us know when it arrives and stuff. So thank you for that. We're definitely going to be pushing that more and more as time comes. And I need you guys to push Ferg and Razi to do some writing. We want to start doing some writing and have newsletters that we can send you guys. So stay on them, okay? Because I'm going to try to get it going. And we also going to just have the things we can send you between episodes, our thoughts on different things and stuff. So we just appreciate the support overall. The audience is continuing to grow. We love the interaction on social media. Check us out, 3 Brothers No Sense, Instagram, Facebook. Appreciate the support. Continue to listen.
Yeah, man. And I think, Byron, you mentioned it, that Jared's about to drop Sherman T. Cooley. Guys, go out, support these books. Tracy, my favorite of the series, the LaFleur short story series. I mean, man, they're so good. And they're free. But they're so good. And if you grew up, I mean, it's going to make you think about high school. It's going to make you think about growing up in the 80s, 90s, from the storytelling, the visuals, the music that he has playing in the background, or he describes playing in the background during the I mean, everything, bro. It is like, it really is engrossing. So go out, check it out, download them. Sherman T. Cooley, any of your book sites, you can find it. Barnes and Nobles, you can take it out on Walmart, Nook, all those good stuff, Kindle. So hit them up, read those, man. Let us know how you like those too.
Yeah, two things real quick. For one, you can't even say, well, I don't really like to read, because the books are what they say they are. They're short stories. You can read them in like one sitting. It's not like this big, long novel that you have to deal with. And 2, don't think that you had to have grown up in Mobile or have gone to LaFleur in order to enjoy the story. That's just like like LaFleur is a character of the book. But like Razio described, it really just brings you back to when you were in high school, and most people can relate, especially if you went to high school in the 90s. You can relate the music and everything, like he said. So check it out.
Well, thank you guys. Just for the record, Jared's not out yet, so you made me want to go read it again. And
Yeah.
people think they can go out and download it. So Sherman, you're on the clock, just so you know. But as my fella said, thanks again for all your support. And now that we're shouting out Sherman, I said I'm going to keep shouting out good podcasts. I have a close friend of mine who dropped a podcast called The Bruz Bookshelf. And basically it's young black men, well, I call them young, they're my age and younger, talking about books and literature and just breaking it.
It's a book podcast, like it's a book club that you feel like you're involved in. I mean, it is I love it.
Yeah, but it's not your grandma's book club. It's they're keeping it raw. They're breaking it down, and so go check it out. They've done multiple books. I think they're on book 3. They've done the $40 million slave heavy, and now they're on to the miseducation of the Negro.
Yes,
and
Carter G. Woodson.
Yes.
Book.
And the way they break it down is it just gives you things to think about and things that we should talk about more, understanding what we're reading. So, Lenny, you guys keep it up. But this is Three Brothers No Sense. Thank you guys for your time. I know we've been maybe a little long today, but when we start talking, we really want to, it's hard to stop. So once again, Three Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again.